everybody, this is going to be the my first time tag, which if you don't know what this is basically me talking about all my first times for things. The first person that I saw do this was Louise from Sprinkleofglitter, and I think she's the one who basically created this tag, and I love her dearly with all my heart. So if you haven't checked out her video, I will link it down below because it's the first one. There are a ton of different videos out there doing this, but I think hers was #1, so hers is obviously the best. So getting started, my first time. Now, this isn't about sex. You may think, oh my gosh, this is about her first time having sex. I would not do that to you. I wouldn't want to horrify you in that way. My first date was with a boy, and his name was Keith, and I remember because he liked me. He was like the cutest guy in 8th grade, I remember. He had a beard in 8th grade. I know, really weird for 8th grade, but he had a beard, and everybody liked him. He was so hot. He probably still is. Okay, he's still kind of cute. I remember him being the hottest guy in 8th grade, and everybody wanted to be with him, and for some reason he liked me. I just have to say, we went to the movies. This is my first ever date. My parents were not cool with it, but they let me go. I can't remember what we saw. The Mothman Prophecies? I think that's what we saw. Do you guys remember that movie? Held hands throughout the movie. I remember him like rubbing my hand, and at the end of the movie we stood outside the movie theater waiting for my dad to pick me up, and he hugged me, and I know he wanted to kiss me, and he probably wanted to do more than that, but I'm in 8th grade. I'm a vagina. I am so afraid to even like look at a boy, much less kiss a boy. So I hugged him, and that was the end of our date, and then like a couple days later he broke it off with me and started seeing this other dumbass girl that was in 8th grade. So she didn't count, but he was my first date, so. My first kiss. My first kiss was a boy in, was it 7th or 8th grade? Wow, a lot of firsts for me in 8th grade. His name was JR, and we were at camp, I remember, and I told this in my Draw My Life video. We were at camp, and it was late night, and I remember there was a big bonfire, and we were like telling scary stories or something at camp, and then they basically say, okay, everyone go back to your cabin. And he pulled me aside. We had the plan, I knew, because I had brushed my teeth for like 12 hours that day. I didn't eat that day because I knew we were gonna kiss. I knew my first kiss was coming that night. I didn't really even like him that much, but I really just wanted to get it out of the way. I just wanted to kiss a boy. So I remember at dinner that night, and it was like garlic spaghetti that night, and I didn't eat a bite because I was like, my breath is not gonna stink for this kiss. I went back and I brushed the shit out of my teeth, and at the end we like pulled me aside by these bushes and French kissed me, and it was horrible. It was like, so I'm sorry JR, I know this is like all over the internet now. I really doubt you watch YouTube videos, but it was horrible. He like kissed me all over my mouth, and it was so fast and so slimy, and I remember just walking back like mortified, like big eyes all the way back to my cabin, and everyone was like, how was it? And I was like, oh my god, not good. And I brushed my teeth for like another 12 hours. My first pet was a cat. The first pet that I can remember, at least. I'm sure I had pets before this, but his name was Bullet, and he was a pure white cat, and I loved him, and he lived for so many years. He disappeared one day, just like my kitty of late, but he was the first pet that I remember, and we loved that cat. He was just an old cranky muffin maker. My first fear is the weirdest fear ever. You guys are gonna think I'm such a weirdo, but every time I would get sick when I was a little kid, we had this heater that was on the wall, and I remember it being like a gas heater, and you would click the little top and it would go click, and then like the little flame would light up on the bottom, and then you could hear it like getting ready, and then the heat would blow out of this vent on the bottom, and we would lay by this heater, but every time I would get sick, like if I had a fever or something, I would be like freezing and then hot, freezing hot, so I would just lay by this heater, and God, I must have spent like thousands of dollars in electricity bills doing this. Why did my parents let me do that? I would lay by this heater, and I remember having this horrifying dream. It's the weirdest sounding dream, oh my gosh. Okay, so my mom in my dream was as fat as Gilbert Grape's mom. Have you guys seen What's Eating Gilbert Grape? She was like big and fat, like I remember huge, so big and fat. She would be sitting on this couch, and we couldn't move her, she couldn't stand or anything, and we'd be sitting around her, and I remember in the dream we were all very sweaty, and then we were all looking at this fishing line that was in the room, and there was like, you know the game Jacks where you bounce the ball and pick up the little like spiky jacks? There would be like a jack like rolling around on the fishing line, and in my mind that scared the shit out of me. So for my entire childhood I was like deathly afraid of jacks. I don't know why. Like I don't know why I dreamt that every time I got sick. Fishing line, fat mom, jack rolling on the fishing line, and that jack, the way it would like roll on the, it horrified me. And till a few years ago I was like creeped the hell out by jacks, and I'm still a little creeped out by them, I'm not gonna lie. The first concert that I ever attended was a Hanson concert, and I remember it was at the Key Arena in Seattle, and we got there 8 hours before the concert started. We were like one of the first people in line. We were all wearing our Hanson t-shirts, braided hair, and I remember my dad was walking around in spandex like like shaped shorts, and we, for some reason when we were little kids, we thought we looked like Hanson. Like I thought I was Zach Hanson, and my sister thought she was Taylor Hanson. So we tried to dress like them because in our minds, if we looked like them, they would want to be our boyfriends, which makes no sense at all. Why would a person want to date somebody that looked like them, especially when they're a boy and they like girls? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, but in my mind, I thought if I look enough like Zach Hanson, he will want to be me. And I thought everyone at that concert thought that I was Zach Hanson. And so we convinced a couple of girls at the concert that our dad was Hanson's dad. Anyway, it was so weird. We were weird little kids. We were really weird. But at that concert, my dad actually did meet Hanson's dad, and he like smoked a cigar with him, and I remember I was like, Hanson are gonna marry me. We made these huge posters, and we would put beads all over them, and I remember I like lined the outside of my poster in every single song Hanson had ever written in chronological order, and like we beaded the entire poster with hot glue, and oh my gosh, you guys don't even know we were Hanson fans. Oh! My first job was at Subway, and I was 16, and I applied for my first job and I got it right away. Yes, I was a Subway sandwich artist. I hated that job. I worked there for a lot of years, but I met a lot of really cool friends there, and it was whatever. It's a job making sandwiches. And I remember when I got fired, on my last day, I gave every single customer a free sandwich. So, fuck you, Subway. My first car was a Mitsubishi Eclipse white, and actually I still own that car and was just driving it until 6 months ago, so I've had it for like 10 years. But it did me really well. I had the nicest car in high school because I roll that way. Really actually it's because I got some money and my dad paid for half the car when we were younger, so I got a nice car and I loved it, and I always wanted like a little sporty car, so that was my first car. My first celebrity crush, obviously it was probably Hanson, but other than Hanson, I'm pretty sure it was Jonathan Taylor Thomas. JTT was like the center of our world. Home Improvement JTT, some kids nowadays might not know who he is, but you missed out. JTT was like top of my list, baby. We'd kiss his poster before we would go to bed at night. My first phone, I remember I was 16. God, a lot of stuff I remember when I was 16. 16? No, I was definitely younger than that. I was like 14 when I got my first cell phone. And I remember it was a flip phone and it was rounded on the edges. I cannot remember what type of phone it was, but I remember bringing it to a football game after school, and everybody crowded around me and they were like, oh my god, look at your new phone. You have the nicest phone ever. And it was like the coolest flip phone, and it had a camera in it, and it was like top of the line. And everybody thought that I was like the coolest kid ever, and I was the coolest kid ever. My first boyfriend was a boy named Ben, and it's not the Ben Marine guy that I dated, but it was actually just a kid from we were in 7th grade and I just wanted a boyfriend. I didn't even like him. I think he might have liked me. I don't even know why we called each other boyfriend and girlfriend. All we did was hold hands one time, so it's not like we were like having sex in 7th grade, but he was my first boyfriend. My first YouTube video is still up. I'm not gonna take it down because of whatever, I'm not even embarrassed of it. It's just something that I put up. It's not even that old, it's only like a couple years old. But it's just a video of me talking about starting a raw food diet because I was trying to do 80-10-10, the raw food diet, to heal my PCOS that I have, which is like a infertility, anyway, whatever, not like you care. But it's still up and you can find it on my other channel, and my other channel is, it's embarrassing because I'm like, oh, this is my first YouTube video, and it's just, you know, first YouTube videos are never that great of quality, but it's up, and if you want to find it you can, but just don't waste your time. My first ever CD was a Hanson CD. I think it was Middle of Nowhere. I'm pretty sure. I mean, I think I had like Leanne Rimes, but I don't think they were CDs. I think they were cassette tapes. But I think my first ever legit CD was a Hanson CD, and I'm pretty sure it was Middle of Nowhere or Mbop. Or Mbop. I'm not 100% sure. It might have been the single, might have been Middle of Nowhere. I don't remember. My first tweet is not that exciting. It was actually only in April of this year because I jumped on the Twitter bandwagon way too late, and it just says, first tweet, thank you all for following me. Which really actually is sort of sad when you think about it because I still only have 64 followers on Twitter. So that's kind of embarrassing. So if you are on Twitter and you would like to follow me, that might be better because I don't have hardly any followers on Twitter. I don't know why. I don't tweet all that often, but I would probably tweet more if more people were looking. So if you'd like to, follow me at RawBeautyKristi, that is my name. And you can also follow me on my other social media sites. I'm on Instagram at RawBeautyKristi, also on Vine, same thing. And Facebook, you can search me at RawBeautyKristi. All the links will be below. I thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have any other requests for any certain types of videos, just put it in the comments section and I will try to make it for you. And until next time, I will see you guys at my next video. Bye.